Seattle's well known for coffee, but forget Starbucks. I'm taking you to the 5 best independent coffee shops, according to TripAdvisor. These spots beat Starbucks on its own turf, so let's dive in. You can hardly walk down a high street anywhere in the world these days without seeing one of myriad coffee shops, whether that's Starbucks, Costa, Cafe Nero, or many other different coffee chains. But did you know that Starbucks was first established in 1971 here in Seattle, next to Pike Place Market? And the origins of why Starbucks was established here probably have something to do with the young population who work long hours, start early, need a coffee to perk them up. But the origins of coffee in the US go back to the 1700s. Initially it came over with the tea by the British colonisers. When the Boston Tea Party happened, the American population shifted over to coffee because it had less of that direct link to the British government and the tax that was taxed on tea at the time. It was only during the expansion westwards from the eastern established colonies towards what is now Washington State and Seattle that coffee really started to pick up as the go-to preferred drink for Americans in this part of the US. There are countless coffee roasteries in Seattle, Starbucks being the biggest, the most established, the most well-known. But what if you don't want to give your hard-earned money to a multinational corporation like Starbucks that has questionable tax history? Well, Seattle is still home to hundreds. I think the latest statistic is for every 100,000 people who live in Seattle, there are 33 coffee shops. So there are plenty to choose from. What I wanted to do today is explore some of the non-Starbucksy coffee shops here in Seattle. So what I've done is I've gone onto TripAdvisor and found the top 5 rated coffee shops here in central Seattle. Most of them are clustered around Pike Place Market, around where the original Starbucks is still based. So behind me is the original Starbucks. So let me tell you how this is going to work. I'm not joining that horrendous queue to get into that Starbucks today. What we're going to do, we're going to get an espresso in each of the top 5 coffee shops, and we're going to compare them, and then my hotel has Starbucks coffee. I don't need to buy one, but we will then see if Starbucks really is the best coffee here in Seattle. So let's go to the first one, which is just around the corner. So the first place we're visiting is Storyville Coffee Company. It has a storied history of its own. It apparently has links to a dodgy evangelical church. But let's go and see what it's like inside. So it's on the top floor of the corner market in Pike Place Market. Thank you. So it was super busy in there. Super busy, but I got myself an espresso. $7.50 for a small drop of coffee. Super strong, bitter, slight nutty, chocolatey notes. But yeah, it's an espresso. Tastes like coffee. On to the next one. So, second coffee shop of the day, Monorail Espresso. A tiny little booth, hole in the wall type shop. Somewhere at the end of Pipe. So, let's go and get another espresso.
Here you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy.
Thanks. So, second espresso of the day. Monorail espresso. It's slightly more bitter than the last one. A bit more earthy. Slight woody taste. There's also a lot more coffee in this cup.
Here. Let's go.
There's probably twice as much in this one, and this cost me $3.75 for a single espresso shot. Monorail espresso. It's good. It's coffee. So the next place we're going to is the Seattle Coffee Works behind me. It was founded in 2006 with the sole aim of taking on Starbucks. They have a no tip policy and they won't take tips, and they provide all of their staff with healthcare benefits. So let's go inside and get another espresso. I am going to be wired by the end of today. Got a double espresso this time. I asked for a single, but they gave me a double. So doubly wired. Quite astringent, quite bitter. There's a sour note to it as well. bit watery. It smells earthy. Burns the back of your throat type of bitterness.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like I would have taken that. I just didn't take one.
Another coffee, tastes like coffee. So the next espresso shop I'm going to is called Ghost Alley Espresso in Post Alley. It's inside an old janitor's closet apparently, and it's haunted by the old janitor who used to clean up Post Alley and the Pike Place fish market. So this is the place. It's seems to have a queue outside because it's right next to the famous gum wall here in Seattle, where people stick chewing gum to the walls. So Ghost Alley Espresso, white cup. Not much in here. Strong. Like a burnt flavour, a bit like burnt treacle or burnt chocolate, and it's really stuck in my throat. This was $4.95, and I think this is the worst one. But at the end of the day, it's coffee. The final place in the top is this place, Moore Coffee. This was rated #1 in Seattle. So let's see what the coffee is really like. Is it better than Starbucks? So I've got my Moose coffee. Is a lot more. It cost $3.90. So one of the cheaper ones. It's got a nice foamy head on top. Really bitter, really strong. So that was the strongest of the lot, of all 5. And it's got the longest bitter aftertaste as well, the back of your mouth. But yeah, pretty good, it's coffee. So back to my hotel, got myself not quite an espresso, but it's a Starbucks black coffee from the machine in my room. Quite bitter, earthy smell. Tastes a bit burnt. So, what did you think of the tour of the top 5 coffee places in Seattle? But at the end of the day, it's coffee, so if you like coffee, go with whatever you want. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that slightly different take on coming to Seattle. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe for the next couple of videos from here, and leave me a comment. What's your favourite coffee place in Seattle? What's your favourite coffee place in anywhere in the world? But until the next video, thanks for watching. Enjoy your coffee.